Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Joe White from Get Life Coaching, and it's time for another edition of Live Free. So we decided to change our surroundings. We're in the boardroom of one of our offices, but nonetheless, this is our fourth and final edition of our four-part series of the top 4 reasons why people don't get what they want. And I think this is the most important of the 4, guys. I mean, 1, 2, and 3 are dandies, but without this, nothing happens. But to build a little suspense, drum roll perhaps, and to get our minds wrapped around where we were, let me review quickly the top 3 reasons. Number 1, they have an uninspired vision. They're not emotionally attached or emotionally associated to what they want. Number 2, they have pain associated to getting it or the process or somewhere along the way. It's that mixed association we talked about. They have a foot on the gas and a foot on the brake. And the closer they get to it, the more pain they feel they might get. So they're hitting the brake more and more. Number 3, they have an ineffective strategy. What that means is that they don't have the right psychology yet to get what they want. And like I said, you can do 1, 2, and 3, but number 4 is where the rubber meets road. And that is the number 4 reasons why someone doesn't get what they want. They don't have a plan. They just go off shotgun in the wind, firing from their hips. And they get frustrated, they get angry, they get disappointed, their expectations don't get met, and they end up quitting. If you want to change anything, there's 2 key ingredients or categories they got to work in. Number 1, you got to change your perception. And that's what 1, 2, and 3 about. Perception is your beliefs, your values, your mindset, how you feel about something, your model of the world. Your other side of that is your procedure. And that's where your plan fits in. It's your procedure. It's how you do something. So let's break this down a little bit, okay? So what is creating a plan? I see a plan as 2 parts. The first part, you have to have a strategy. You have to have a strategy that works. Now the challenge with that is most people don't know what they want. They don't know the outcome. Sometimes they know what they don't want, but they don't have a clear enough outcome of what they want. So the first step is to ask yourself, what is my outcome? Stephen Covey from the 7 Habits spoke, begin with the end in mind. Know what target, because I tell you this, guys, at the end of anything, you're going to hit a target. Now, is it the target that you want? I don't know. But if you don't choose your target, a target will be chosen for you and you will end up somewhere. The second thing you got to ask yourself is how are we going to get there? Okay, what are the ways and means for us to achieve this? Financially, manpower, ideal, working it in my schedule, sitting down, working on a relationship. Number 3 is what is our resources? Where are they? Are they in us or the outside? Internal, external? Or maybe we got to go out and create something because it doesn't exist yet. Number 4 is who can help us? Look, I'm a great believer in leveraging your time and your energy. And I believe there are people and there are coaches, there are a whole bunch of people that can help you to achieve what you want, who's been through it before. We talked about this before. It's called the art of modeling. But unless you seek those people out, you won't benefit from them. So then you try and do everything yourself. I see this with businesses. Strong personality driven people, sometimes what they do because of ego or significance, they don't put anyone who is smarter than them next to them. See, I think this is the way I do this is I know my strengths, I know my challenges. I know where I'm not as good as other people. So I put people who are better at me in those areas. I don't need to be the smartest in everything. Absolutely not. And when you choose that and we begin to shift to that type of leadership, whether you're leading other people or leading yourself, it opens you up to create so much more. And the last part here, the way to really create a strong strategy, is you got to have your reason why you're doing these parts. And that goes back to perception, doesn't it? Yeah, because think about this for a second. Your why is your driver. If you don't have a strong reason why, okay, you're going to work that strategy only until it feels comfortable. In other words, there's ebb and flows to everything. There's winter and there's summer. Everything is secular. Everything is seasonal. And it's easy to work your plan when it's going easy. But have it when it's hard. When your body is tired and you don't want to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Or you're working on your relationship and the person's not responding the way you want them to. See, that's when you need that reason why, the compelling reasons to drive you. So that's the first step or stage to create that effective strategy. The next one, you got to take action. I gotta tell you, this is where most people stall. They create that strategy, but up to that point, everything is in that theory stage or preparation stage. Action is where you go out and you do it. Now, sometimes people get caught with the hallucination that planning and creating is the same as action because it gives them the illusion of getting something done. No, they're not doing it. Now, even though everything we talked about are important steps, until you take action, until you take consistent action, massive action, you're not going to get what you want. Because what people do is they start to dabble. They try things out. They're not emotionally committed. They're not emotionally invested in the process, and they take a little bit of action. We call them dabblers. And what happens as soon as something goes wrong or doesn't go the way or becomes difficult, they retreat. They try another strategy, but they don't commit to that either. So what they end up doing is just sampling. And the other challenge I see is someone who takes all that massive action but never lifts their head up to see if it's working or not. Look, I think it's important to take massive action, but you gotta take intelligent massive action. We don't need to be stupid or foolish in our approach. We can get what we want, how we want to, and use our intelligence. Now, we can take massive action, but we gotta see if it's working or not. If you just bury your head and don't look up, you're gonna find yourself so off course, it might be too late to get back. So, to do that, the secret is simple. The secret is simple. You take action. You gotta look around. Is it working? What's working? What's not working? And you can't get addicted or married to that strategy. You gotta keep tweaking and measuring. See, if you can't measure something, you won't be able to manage it. And you keep tweaking and keep nosing and getting closer or further away, closer or further away. Where's that momentum? And then you keep doing that process until you get what you want. And by following through on that consistent action, I guarantee you follow these 4 principles I laid out in this, you're going to get the result that you want. This is how we're wired. This is success. You know, it makes me think about, I forget what version, Rocky 5, Rocky 6 is the last Rocky. And the part of this that always draws me, it's a famous scene, you've probably seen this, is where his son, Rocky's son, gets very frustrated as his father because he feels his father is getting away, or getting in the way of him and his life. And he has this big argument outside Rocky's restaurant. And this one scene, with this one line, where Rocky says, if you know your worth, go out and get it. Look, if you know what you want, go out and get it. Take the action. We can live in 2 worlds, faith or fear. If you live in fear, you will end up falling short all the time or getting it, but never pushing forward again. If you live in faith, no, there's no guarantee. If you do everything, there are no absolute positive guarantees. But how do you want to live your life? Do you want to live your life moving towards what you want or just trying to avoid those things that you don't want to feel? I can tell for myself. I'd rather, and I've said this before, I'd rather die on the battlefield at the hand of my enemy than hid up in the corner. So take your action. Create that vision. Be brave and be daring. And achieve your dreams. And be part of the few that do create the life that they want. Until next time, this is Joe White from Get Life Coaching. Live free. Bye-bye.